Hey everybody, Steve here, and welcome to the AFR Monday Night Double Play for February 22nd, 2016. Alright, so I hope everybody is having a good last week here of February. We're enjoying the wonderful weather here in New England and another weekend of no snow and almost touching 50 degrees. So after last winter, we'll definitely take it. And on my tabletop this weekend, I was able to get in another game, actually a game and a half, with my Football America playthrough using the Boston Minutemen. And they were traveling down to San Antonio, and in a bit of an upset, they were able to prevail 28-14, thanks in a large part to a stifling defense that was led by Wilkerson, who had 2 sacks on the day and never really allowed the San Antonio running game to get going because they were playing behind most of the time. And my favorite running back in the game, Rondé Lincoln, he was able to score a touchdown, although he only had 27 yards on the day. But at his age, they have to spread the workload around a little bit. So between him, Edwards, and Gilmore, they were able to keep the ground game going of the Minutemen. But I was actually kind of surprised when I totaled up the stats for the game to see how much passing my quarterback had, which is one of the nice things about going back through your game and totaling up the stats. And they actually tell perhaps a different story than what you thought was going on during the game. And so my QB, Tulmaselli, ended up going 26 of 35 for 257 yards and tossed a couple of touchdown passes. So the Minutemen continue to roll 3-0 in the season, and I was able to get in a half of a game for their next week, and they're traveling down to Memphis, another road game, and thanks in large part to a fumbled punt that allowed them to take over really close to the goal line. They are ahead 7-0 at the half in that game. I'll report on the full game next week on the show. As for viewer games that were submitted last week, we just had one project that was detailed, and it was from viewer Farpoint Gaming Direct, who's running a unique season replay with Replay Baseball. And what he's doing is he's running through the whole season one team at a time. So really interesting project, and definitely looking forward to hearing more updates. Thank you for sharing your project with us, Farpoint Gaming. And now it is time for the question of the week. Alright, so last week on the show I talked about playing out Baseball Highlights 2045 on my iPad and how I was enjoying it a lot, and it actually made me want to pull my board version of the game off the shelf and play a few games. And it also actually got me to order the 2 latest expansions that came out for that game. And so I asked everybody if they have any app versions of games that they play and enjoy playing it on their iPad, but then it makes them want to play the board game version even more. And so viewer Kev B said that he enjoys playing the Title Belt app, and that makes him want to get out his Title Belt version on the table. And I agree, that is a really great version of the game and fun to play out, but definitely something that sort of loses something in translation. And at least for myself, I really enjoy rolling the dice and playing out Title Belt on my tabletop. And then the other comment we got was from Paul Wissam, who said that he enjoys playing Out of the Park Baseball. Now, this isn't a translation of any baseball board game, of course, but that long-running PC series, which actually is going to have its 17th version released later this year, is definitely a strong contender. It is a wonderful game that continues to have a lot of innovations every year. I usually end up picking up a version every couple of years, although I do have to say that my preference now is definitely playing especially baseball games, out on my tabletop. So thank you to everybody who left comments and game write-ups for the game and the question of the week. And this week, I'm happy to announce that we have a return of the question of the week contest. So everybody that follows the Facebook page here for AFR knows that we announced there was a early release for the 2015 Pro Stock Car season for Red, White, and Blue Racing from Play.com. And we're going to be giving away a copy of that set for this week's contest. So, of course, the contest works the same as always. One, make sure that you're a subscriber to the channel, like this video, and then leave a comment answering the question of the week. And this week, I'd like to know, what is your favorite house rule or tweak that you've made to a board game? So as for myself, sticking with the theme of stock car racing, when I play out a season using Red, White, and Blue Racing, I play out the Scram or the fictional season that comes with that game. And what I like to do for just a small little house rule is before each race, along with all the normal drivers that get pulled to be TV drivers for that game, I also like to automatically let the winner of last week's race be a TV driver, and then also whoever won the race the previous year is automatically added to the TV driver rules. For those of you who aren't familiar with Red, White, and Blue Racing, you can check out my reviews or my Under the Hood video on that game. But basically, if someone is a TV driver for the week, they get an extra quality for the race that will help them possibly move up in the race while they're juggling for position, and then also will allow them to qualify a little earlier and perhaps qualify a little higher than they normally would. So it's just a nice little quick thing that I do that adds a little character and history as well when I'm playing through a season with my Scram set. So that's my favorite house rule tweak that I have to a game. Look forward to hearing everybody's comments, reading them, and next week on the show, I'll pick one random comment to be the winner of the 2015 Pro season for Red, White, and Blue Racing. Good luck to everybody who enters, and until then, my name is Steve. Get out there, have fun, play games, and I'll see you after further review.